Alright, first thing first, I want to start out by saying welcome everybody back to another episode of the Real Man, Real Gamer podcast, hosted by the one and only Delta Gamer. Now, this is episode 3, and the first thing is, let's just go ahead, you know what, let's just go ahead and start it off with the game of the week. So, game of the week is Post 4. Now, Post 4 is basically a Doom clone, hopped on asset with role-like features. It's a pretty dope game, you know. There's the levels. Far as I'm concerned, I only made it to level 8 so far, I believe. I think level 8 is my highest level. It's a pretty intense game. Every level you get a new ability. After you beat one level, you get a new ability. For instance, you can get a different gun like a shotgun or a Uzi, or you can get more liquid in the idle, or you can get more points towards the goal. It's a very fun game, very challenging game. You're on a strict time limit as well, so your main goal is to avoid damage, kill enemies, and make it to the end of the level before your timer run out. Your timer is in your left hand, which is also your health bar as well. The idle, I guess it's called the idle, and yeah, it's a pretty dope concept. The roguelike feature is there's no save points in between levels. So if you're on level 5 and you die or you just your time run out, you basically gotta go back to level 1. You know, if you're on level 8 and your time run out or you die, you gotta go back to level 1. Also, you don't keep none of your features or the stuff that you got after beating every level. You just go back to the beginning point. My favorite thing is to get the shotgun when I'm getting using these abilities, because you always got to pick one. My favorite gun is just the shotgun because it's more accurate, more powerful. It reach further. I just like using it. Like the way it feels and whatever. It's pretty dope. Another thing is I like to get the more liquid in the idle so I can have more time and more health basically. What else did I like doing? Oh yeah, faster reload. Faster reload is a good perk and a good feature as well in the game. It's a pretty dope game. Y'all need to check it out, give it a try. It's only a couple of dollars. I got it for a couple of dollars on Steam, and it was on sale when I got it, and it's still, even for full price, it was like a couple of dollars. So I recommend getting it on PC. It's also, you can also use controller if you want, and it's also Steam Deck verified, which is pretty dope. So one day if I do get a Steam Deck, that's gonna be one of my go-to games, because I know that's just a type of game right there that I already know that would just go great on a portable. And good news, is also on the Nintendo Switch as well. So that's for you Nintendo Switch players. That's a good thing right there. I hope so, because it's a really good game, and as well as on PlayStation. For some reason, I don't know why it's not on Xbox One or the series systems. I don't know why they didn't bring it to the Xbox. Unfortunately, Xbox players cannot play it right now. Hopefully, one day they bring it to your system. I know Steam been had it, and I think as well Nintendo Switch been had it as well. The game it just now came to the PlayStation. Hopefully, it comes to Xbox sooner or later. I hope so. It's a good game. Hopefully, y'all just be able to get to play it one day. So yeah, it's not really not much to talk about the game no more. Only one thing, which is the music. The music is phenomenal. Honestly, the music is phenomenal in the game. It's only like one song on there as well, and it's just pretty dope. But I will admit, if you play the game long enough, you just turn the music off, because it's pretty irritating at a certain point where you just steady playing the game. I was like, turn this shit off. I just rather listen to a video on my own music. But yeah, overall, it's a pretty good game. I recommend it to pick it up. Like I said, it's only a couple of dollars. It's not gonna hurt you. Alright, so the next thing on the docket is PlayStation latest business ventures with their hardware. Now, they got the PSVR 2, they got the Project Q handheld, and rumor has it they got a new PS5 Pro coming out in the near future. Now, me personally, I don't like reporting on rumors, but let's just say it's true. What the hell are they doing with their money? This is ridiculous. I mean, with the PSVR 2, it's dope hardware. It's the best of the VR, what VR offers all around from every other company as well. They're the best at it, right? But unless they know they're gonna have not that many people to adopt the system, adopt the peripheral or the add-on, they gotta know this not gonna do well, especially with VR 2. I mean, you launched this at a damn near $600. $600. The base system just with no games. Hopefully you already got games to go with it. It's $550. That's basically $600. Then you got a bundle for the Horizon. You couldn't even bundle the game in for free. You had to make extra money off of it and bundle it at 600. I mean, honestly, I'm not even gonna lie to you. If you got the VR and you want to at least get a good amount, let's say 10 games, because VR games are not that long. Let's be honest, VR games for the most part are not long at all. But let's just say 10 games. That's around $800. Hopefully, some of the games you get a free ad. You get the free VR version of the game, but some of them you got to pay for it. Some of the games not even a free add-on. It's just like a separate base game, right? So I don't understand what they're doing with the VR2. Honestly, if they drop the price to $400 or they put it on sale during Black Friday, they can't even put this thing on sale for 500 or 450. They gotta put both versions of this peripheral on sale for 400 to get people to come to it more and more and more, because the sales can't be doing that good. I mean, if you really want this peripheral to succeed, the game's got to sell, right? You can't just sell the peripheral and think it's going to do numbers and think it's going to succeed without the games doing it. I mean, I don't know what they're doing. I remember when the PS3 first released, they sold that system at a loss. I think it's almost $200. Every system they sold at a loss because they're going to get their money back on the games being bought on their system, because they always get a percentage. I think, if I'm not mistaken, they get a 30% percentage of every game sold on their console because of the license and whatever to their hardware or their software. They need to go ahead and do the same thing for the VR2, because they don't do the same thing for the VR2. They don't drop this price. They don't bundle the system in, the peripheral in with a bunch of games, or at least 2 games, or at least 3. This is gonna fail. This is going to fail, and I don't know what they're thinking. Maybe they don't care. Maybe they kind of hope it does fail. Maybe they just hope that people will still pick up the device, even though it's pretty expensive to get yourself into. But man, I don't know. I don't know. I don't really see this being successful. And then I honestly give it like another year. I give it another year. I'm gonna give it to the end of next year. They don't drop the price or anything. This is gonna flop pretty bad, and technically this already has flopped. The sales ain't doing that good, and if the sales ain't doing that good, I mean the games are not doing that good. So developers seeing that the games on the system or on the peripheral is not selling properly, they're gonna stop making it for it. So I don't know what to say. If I was the lead of Sony right now or PlayStation, I would just drop the price to 400. I was calculate the loss and just hopefully to make it back up in software sales. And let's bring this topic back over to the PlayStation Q handheld. PlayStation handhelds has been a big part of my life, from the PSP to PSP Go to the Vita. And the Vita bit coming out in 2013 and getting news of a new handheld coming, you're getting excited. You're like, man, Sony, PlayStation is finally getting back into the handheld market, right? And the Project Q is what they got to offer. This is ridiculous. This is just outright ridiculous. You would think, instead of coming out with a streaming device, they would actually go in there and try to make a physical a device where you can play physical hardware, just have at least digital downloads. Of course, you're going to have digital downloads, and it can stream, but apparently you need a PlayStation 5 to use the PlayStation Q. If you don't have a PlayStation 5, you can't even use the PlayStation Q. As far as I'm concerned, that's just outright dumb, idiotic. It's just brain dead. It's just brain dead. I mean, I seen some people saying, "Oh, when somebody's using the TV in my family, one of my family members or friends or whatever is using the TV, I can hop on a Project Q and play the games on the PlayStation." I'm like, I hope you got good internet. I hope you don't see it's because the streaming stuff is not there still. It's not there. It's just not there. You're gonna most likely have issues using it. I think it's just dumb. I mean, I just think it's just so dumb. Out of all the things you can do, you can make a Steam Deck competitor, you can make a Nintendo Switch competitor. As a person who still plays the Vita, who still, has his PSP Go laying around, you could have literally made a real proper handheld. But besides doing that, you went to come up with the Project Q, a streaming remote play device. My God, Sony, PlayStation, this is just dumb, man. This is ridiculous. I can't even believe this, man. I mean, y'all guys could at least invested in a portable PC handheld where you guys, since your guys are already putting games on your first party games on PC, you might as well just create yourself your own launcher and put your launcher on of course on the web or whatever, and be able to have your launcher on like the Steam Deck or on the Rogue Ally, and you can have your trophies and your data and your games can all carry over to the launcher, and you can basically do something like that. But instead, you do the Project Q. Jesus Christ, man! Yeah, I don't know what's going on. This is going to be a flop. I can see how you can download games on here it could be successful, but needing a PlayStation 5 to even use it, I can understand with the VR2 needing the PS5, but the Project Q, Jesus Christ, man, this is a flop. This is dumb. I hope some people are happy to get it, to use it, but I'm not getting this, man. This is a waste of money. I can't believe they even thought about doing this. Terrible. Just downright terrible. So, another thing talking about hardware for them is apparently they got a new PS5 coming out, which is the PS5 Pro. Now, every console generation always get like a revision. Just, get better. Not, I wouldn't say, yeah, better hardware or just a better design and, a better vending system or more reliable hardware. But there's only been one real generation where there was like a mid-gen refresh, and that was with the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X. That was the only generation where there was really a powerful upgrade in the generation. Because usually all the other times it's just, revise the system and make it more reliable to use and, last longer. That's what they always did in their generation. So if they came out with a better version of that, I can understand it. But to come out with a more powerful PS5, it's dumb. Unless you're telling me the developers are going to be able to run a game, you're going to be able to run the game at 4K 60 frames per second at the same time, and the games actually look extremely realistic and better than the current games on the PS5 hardware. Okay, I can slightly see it. Also, are the games going to be able to run load in faster? I can slightly see it. But overall, let's be honest, we're not going to see none of that. We're not going to see any of that, to be fair. Every time you come out with new hardware from these companies, they promise this and they promise that. We get this, you get that. But when you get the system, it's always a letdown. Like, yes, you can see minor improvements, but I thought I was told day one that you're gonna. I mean, there's literally 8K on the goddamn PS5 box. Not a single. I think there's only one game, and it's a pixel game, a 2D pixel game that can run in 8K. I don't even know why they got that even on the box. It's so dumb. Like, it's so misleading. In theory, it can do 8K, but let's be honest, it's not doing 8K. It's just not. Why aren't your first party games in 8K? It's just ridiculous. I think they know people's gonna buy it no matter what. I think this device for people who already got the PS5, I will say if it does come out, like I said, I don't like reporting on rumors, but if it does come out, just stay with your regular PS5. I mean, unless you just got the money to upgrade and you don't care, cool. Because this seems like something for people who would buy a new iPhone every year. If you buy a new iPhone every year, I can see you buying a PS5 Pro. Because it just doesn't make sense. As a person who had the PS5 day one, I am completely satisfied with my system. Unless I'm going to really see major big improvements with this PS5 rumor hardware coming out, I could care less. And it's not, I mean, what they're going to promise us now? What they're going to promise us now? It's just going to be a bunch of baloney, because at the end of the day, these studios apparently are getting overworked. They can't really still do what they want to. I don't know. I could care less. But if they do come out with it, I think it would be a dumbass thing to do. It'd be pretty dumb. I don't need a PS5 Pro. The generation don't need a PS5 Pro. It's already good enough. Same thing with the Xbox. If they ever come out with a mid-gen system for the series systems, it wouldn't make sense. It just wouldn't make sense. So let's talk about the collector's edition for PlayStation Spiderman 2. Now, in case y'all didn't know, there has been collector's editions coming out for games since I don't know when. And I love them. I love collector's editions for systems. PS4 had a good amount of good collector's edition systems out there. One of my favorite ones was the 500 million limited edition system. It was like blue see-through PS4 Pro with the see-through controller, and I think they gave you a headset as well. That was a pretty dope one. There was a Star Wars one with Darth Vader on one of them. There was an Uncharted 4 one. There was a Spider-Man one, which I own, which I got as well. It's pretty dope. I got the PS4 Pro still. It's pretty dope. There's a lot of great collector's editions out there for the systems, but the thing is, when you get in these collector's editions, you gotta buy the whole system again. You gotta buy the whole thing again. And with the PS5 design, with the PS5, how they do the plates and stuff, you don't need to buy the whole system no more. You can just buy the side plates, which is a pretty dope concept, right? And for the most part, I've been getting let down. Like the Days Gone Collector's Edition was a letdown. Like that statue was terribly made, cheaply made. The game was also terrible. But no matter, never mind that. But ever since the PS5 came out, these guys, I mean, even before the system came out, you know that the PS5 plates are detachable. You can customize it. I mean, it shouldn't have took third party people out there to come out with customizable plates before the goddamn first party people, the people who made the system, right? Out of all the games that came out from y'all first party UIs, why is Spider-Man 2 the first game for y'all to do a special edition to? It's so dumb. Like y'all should have been coming out with special edition plates for the longest. Like I has been really let down from them not doing that, right? And seeing that this Spider-Man 2 is coming out with the plates is a pretty dope concept because first of all, God of War Ragnarok, that whole collector's edition was terrible. That hammer it was so dumb. All the stuff that came in the collector's edition, I don't even know how y'all bought that. Like I would have never even considered buying that. Overpriced junk in my opinion. Now I will admit I enjoyed the Horizon Forbidden West bundle. I got it for $100 like a couple of months later. That was pretty dope. But it still sucked because you couldn't have you didn't have limited edition PS5 place to go with it. They could have literally slapped on the cover, Aloy on the cover, had her in the front and with the background and the scenery of the open world in the background. They could have easily done something like that, right? I mean, I don't know why they didn't do that, but yeah, I've been getting let down from PlayStation with their first party games coming out. Hell, even third party games they got coming out, like with Final Fantasy. Even though I don't even play Final Fantasy, or they got this COD deal going on, they could have been doing PS5 plays sooner rather than now. Like why will you start now? But I'm glad that they started because this is a pretty dope design for the system. It could have been better. It could have been better. It definitely could have been better. They could have had different variations as well. They also need to start doing that. They need, instead of doing like one variation, they need to have like 2 or 3 different variations or things you can swap out. Because even though I like the left side of the plate with symbiote taking over and like the red is at the bottom, I think on the back side it's just all black with a white Spider-Man symbol. That's cool and all, but you could have did something more extravagant than that, right? In my opinion, am I right or wrong on that? All I know is it looks dope, and my God, the controller looks dope as well. The controller looks pretty dope. I will be buying these plates. Most likely, will be picking up a controller. Unfortunately, these are only limited edition, so it's not gonna have that many quantities. So I'm thinking about picking up 2 controllers, but I don't feel like picking up 2 controllers. I know I'm gonna pick up one, and I know I'm gonna pick up the PS5 place, and of course I'm picking up the game. But I'm kind of reluctant to get a second PS5 controller with the Spider-Man one, just because, man, that's a lot of money right there already, you know. So I'm not sure yet, but I'm definitely getting one for each one with the place in the controller, and of course the game. Now, I did see the collector's edition with the statue in it. I looked at the statue, I'm like, man, that's pretty dope. I want to get it for the price. It's like, if you get rid of the game is 70. If you get rid of the game, they mean the statue is like 140. And I looked at that statue, I'm like, dude, that's not worth 140 in my opinion. That is not worth it. I'm like, that quality looked pretty cheap. You can't be, nah, I'm good on that. I'd be passing on that statue. I would definitely be passing on that statue, unfortunately. It could have been better, but look, I will be picking up the plates though, in the controller. But I'm glad that they came out with a dope design on the controller because, my God, let's go back to God of War Ragnarok. That controller was hideous. It's honestly, I mean, going back to their latest collector's edition that they done for like God of War Ragnarok, and I think it's been God of War Ragnarok and Horizon Forbidden West. I think those are the only collector's edition that came out for the systems. But my God, man, Ragnarok God of War arguably is their #1 IP. And you tell me for your controller, for your limited edition controller, you make it purple and white and put a wolf on the touchpad? That wolf image, by the way, look like a stock image you get off like Keynote or something. Or they already got images in like a Photoshop software or whatever, and you just put that image right there. That controller was terrible. I mean, I looked at that, I'm like, my God, man. I mean, maybe they. I mean, I can only people I can see really buying this had to be like really hardcore PlayStation enthusiasts or somebody who just came across like I need a controller. I just picked this up, but I I mean, back just even to the like the collector's edition with that hammer, bro. It's like, dude, what a horrible collector's edition for a solid game, for pretty much a solid game. But yeah, this Spider-Man stuff looks pretty dope. I'm gonna be picking me up the plates, like I said, in the controller. I can't wait to play the game. Hopefully the game's gonna be amazing. And I can't wait to play it, man. And I'm glad they came out with a solid collector's edition for once. Cause they haven't did a solid collector's edition, in my opinion, ever since. I wanna say The Last of Us 2. But since I didn't like the game and I don't really like Ellie, I'm not even gonna give them credit on that. So I'm gonna say was 2018 God of War, because I think their best, like they statue, the stuff they included in there was pretty dope. Now I didn't like the way they did the console. I thought the console for the PS4 Pro looked horrific. Like I understand what it was, but that looked horrific, extremely horrific. I'm trying to see like what I think the last cool console. I mean the Spider-Man's. You know what? Spider-Man all around had a pretty solid console and a pretty solid statue. Like that collector's edition was pretty solid from what they did with Spider-Man 1. So it's a tie between Spider-Man 1 and God of War 2018 for their collector's edition, but Spider-Man 2 collector's edition is basically right there. They could have did that statue better, like I said, but it is what it is. All right, so the next topic is what's going on with the Switch. Now, there's a couple of things I need to pick up or just talk about with the Switch, and the first thing is the price. My God, man, that system has been out since 2017. They haven't dropped the price not once since, not even on a Black Friday sale. I mean, that's ridiculous, right? I'm not even gonna get that system, but they still selling them though. It's amazing how they still selling that device with that full price range. And I'm like, I'm just not. I'm me personally. If I knew what the Switch was gonna be like, I would have got it day one, but I didn't. And I'm not saying the Switch isn't worth it, but I'm more accustomed to if the hardware literally been out there for that many years, and you tell me it's not worth a price drop is nowhere coming. I refuse to buy it. You know, I might well just wait on the Switch 2 at this point, or just get like a PC handheld, gaming handheld device, because that's ridiculous. Like I mean, even if they would have released the OLED version for a good 300, I would have got it. I would have got it day one. Like, okay, fine, I'm going ahead and get it. They released it at 350. They haven't dropped the price of the base Switch from 300, which is, in my book, kind of scummy. The Switch Lite is a good deal, but it would be a good deal if I could still like hook it up to my TV somehow. And also, you fear that the controllers, the analogs might get stick drill. So even though you could sit the system in and get it repaired somewhere, or you can repair it yourself, it'd be just much easier for them to detach and just swap them out with different Joy Cons, make it that like a simple process instead of try to send it in somewhere or open the system up yourself and try to fix them. But yeah, I don't know. I just think the Switch is a weird device because I refuse to pay full price for them, and I know I could get a pre-owned version, but man, I don't want to. Some systems I don't want pre-owned. I'm gonna go with a handheld. I don't want a handheld pre-owned. Nah, I'm not cool with a handheld being pre-owned. I'm not cool with a home system being pre-owned, but I would get it if it's a really good price though. Switch, I haven't seen one for good price from like trusted like sellers, like the Best Buys, the Amazons, the WalMarts. I haven't really seen any for good deals lately. And like I said, I fear that like if I do get the Switch Lite, there's those two issues I brought up. Or like one of the main issues, I want to capture gameplay for my channel, and I won't be able to do that. I could just get a regular Switch, but even then, man, I don't know, it's not worth it. So I might just get a PC handheld because that price is just still ridiculous. It's insane how those systems don't drop in price. Not even for the holidays, right? All they do is just include like a Mario bundle, a Mario Kart bundle in it, and it's like, my God, man. I guess. I mean, they still selling them. They still selling. I wouldn't blame them. Sell it for full price. Call it a day. Another thing I wanted to talk about was what I want from the Switch 2. Now, the Switch 2, there's three things they got to do. I'm going to go ahead and make sure I get it day one. First thing is backwards compatible with the Switch 1. The second thing is more powerful, of course. And the third thing is just better, quality of life features like, themes, better eShop performance. Like when you go on the eShop, I done seen that it's very laggy, very slow. Have a better eShop interface. Another thing is have better like a list for friends, a solid message group. Have a proper social media interaction on your device. Like it's ridiculous. Like this is something that PS3 and Xbox 360 was doing properly back then, and they still haven't figured this shit out. Have a proper voice chat thing as well. I mean, it's ridiculous. And I see it, I'm like, how in the hell are they charging for this and they don't got this and this set up? I don't know. I just think it's weird. But yeah, that's the only thing I wanted to say about the Switch. All right. So another topic I wanted to talk about is the number one thing I hate about trophy hunting. Now, in case y'all didn't know, I am a trophy hunter. I like trophy hunting, but with everything you like, there's got to be some stuff you don't like about it, right? Well, with trophy hunting, there's that one thing. Now I understand. I know y'all saying, what could that one thing be? Is it the collectibles? Well, that's a pretty tough one. But it's not. It's not the number one thing I hate. Is it multiplayer? Honestly, depending if the servers are up and it's a fun multiplayer, not really. But it does kind of suck when the multiplayer is is pretty terrible, or the server's just not up, or there's nobody playing. That is kind of shitty. But that's not even it neither. The number one thing I hate is glitch trophies when I'm trophy hunting. And the reason why I hate them because I always run into the glitch trophies when they're the last trophies to get. I can't stand that shit, right? So let's break it down. One of the games, there's 3 games that I could have never got the platinum for because one of the trophies glitched out. And every time, bro, I just felt bad because you just did all this work, just put in all this time for this end goal, and you telling me I can't get my platinum because one of these trophies decided to bug out and the developers could care less to fix it / patch it. That has to be the worst feeling ever when it comes to trophy hunting for me. Like, I don't care how difficult the game is. Like, if the game is really difficult, I can just walk away. If I can't figure out how to beat it, if I can't get good, I just walk away from it, call it a day. Something else is going on where I'm like, it's just too much for me. I won't be able to handle it. Just walk away. It is what it is. You got to know your limits, right? But it's got to be a joke. This gotta be a joke. Like, this gotta be a joke where they can't even go back and fix the issue. They can't even read like the problems or the issues that's going on with the game because 2 times I literally had to contact the developers or the publishers, and both of those times I was just out of luck. I was just out of luck. Like I even though I think collectible trophies are pretty like outrageous, especially if you got more than 100 collectibles in your game, you're wasting developers' time. You're just wasting developers' time at that point because let me tell you something. The trophy hunters do not care to go get 500 fucking collectibles. We don't. With the multiplayer trophies, if the multiplayer is really terrible and the only reason we're playing that multiplayer is just to go ahead and get those trophies, you failed at the multiplayers as well. But like I said, I don't really care less because it is a challenge. I want the challenge. But don't give me a challenge and fuck me out of my trophy. Am I right or wrong on that? There's 3 games I've been fucked out of trophies before where I'm like, God damn it, I want my platinum and I can't get it. And it was always the last trophy. So the first game is Battlefield 4 on the PS3. I beat the game. First of all, you got to beat the game on 3 difficulties: easy, medium, hard. If you beat the game on hard, for the most part, any game out there, if you beat it on hard, you get the medium and the easy trophies. You get them to stack. Apparently, if you beat the game on hard, the easy trophy will glitch out. It would say that you did beat it on easy, but the trophy won't pop. It wouldn't pop. And I looked it up, and I'm like, God damn it! And apparently, there's no fix for it, no solution for it, and I just had to give up. Unfortunately, I was just like, damn, I had to call it a day. I'm like, I tried multiple things to get it to pop, and it just wouldn't pop, man. It wouldn't pop, and I had to let it go. And crazy enough, my cousin was over my house one time, and I remember she had a problem with her Origin account. She wanted to do something on The Sims, and she had to call EA or whatever. And when she called them, it's so crazy because this is around the time that my trophy glitched. I'm like, let me talk to them because I got an issue as well. And they looked at the issue, and it's like, unfortunately, this is the developer issue, it's not a publisher issue. So there's nothing we can do about it. They're not going to do anything about it because actually this was years out there Battlefield 4 that came out. And mind you, this is also the PS3 version. And I think so. It was past. I know Hardline was out. It was whatever Battlefield that came out after Hardline. That was the Battlefield that was out at the time. And I'm like, your two Battlefield games already past date, and you're also on the PS3 hardware. Yeah, it's just out of luck. Just go ahead and count your loss right there. And it's crazy enough, there's another game, another EA game that fucked me over, which was Need for Speed Most Wanted on the PS Vita. Last trophy I had to get, I got fucked over. Fucked over. And I'm like, dude, I was so angry because it was actually a fun game to play. Both of those games was fun, Battlefield and Most Wanted on the PS Vita. And yeah, it hurts. It hurts to this day. I still think about those trophies. I'm like, man, is there any way I can get something to fix? Like, I was down there tempted to hack my systems, figure out how to go into it and get them to pop and call it a day right there. But I'm like, it's too risky. I don't want my account to get banned. So I'm like, let me not do that. But yeah, unfortunately, those two trophies have fucked me over. Another trophy is Super Hot VR. There's a trophy. The last trophy on Super Hot VR is, I don't know what it is. I'm gonna put the picture right here. But I basically did that, and it didn't pop neither. And I contacted them on that. I contacted their studio. They did not get back with me. I even went on PSN profiles. Some people tried helping me out, but I don't think, like, the solution that they gave to me on PSN profiles, I didn't go back. I think I went back and did it, but it still didn't work. So I just counted it as a loss, unfortunately. But yeah, that's the number one thing I hate about trophy hunting is glitch trophies. Now, I have ran into way more glitch trophies, but I got them to pop though. At the end of the day, I got those trophies to pop. One of them was like Infinite Warfare. You had to win 5 multiplayer matches on the game. Some people was able to get the trophy at their 5th match. Some people was able to get the trophy at their 10th match. The luckiest person in the world, which is me, I got the trophy at 1,000 matches played. Granted, I enjoyed playing the multiplayer because all I was playing was like domination and infected. But I remember when it happened, I was so happy because when I looked at PSN profiles or the trophy, ps3trophies.org or whatever, or pstrophies.org, they said that there's a glitch trophy or a bug trophy, and it's the 5 multiplayer matches one. I said, you know what, I'm gonna get that trophy first. I'm gonna go for that first before I touch anything else. Because if I get everything else and I still can't get it, this is gonna, piss me off. I did that, but it was crazy was when I did it, I didn't have PS Plus. I had a 2-day free weekend PS Plus trial going on that Sony just gave to everybody who didn't have PS Plus. And on that last day, I remember I was playing a game and it popped and I was like so happy about it. I'm like, yes, finally, I got it. And now I can go play the campaign and I can go play zombies. Campaign, by the way, was pretty terrible. Zombies, though, was pretty okay. I enjoyed the zombies. But, yeah, there was other glitch trophies as well. Like, I remember one of them was Extraction on Call of Duty Ghosts on the PS3 version. I remember, like, I did everything I needed to do to get it, and it didn't pop. And I remember I called PlayStation, and I called Infinity Ward. I think I called Infinity Ward. Yeah, I called Infinity Ward. Whichever one that made Ghosts, who developed Ghosts, I called. I'm pretty sure it was Infinity Ward. But I called both of them like, yo, my trophy ain't popping. And mind you, I'm a kid at the time. Imagine a kid calling your customer service line saying a trophy didn't pop. Can y'all help me out? I remember that time, like I'm self-aware, but I remember I was like, I bet they was like, what the fuck? Like, are you serious? But they both tried helping me. I know they kept sending me back and forth to each one on this, but like the PlayStation person was like, that seemed like a developer issue. That's not an issue on our side. And like Infinity Ward was like, that's not an issue on our side. That's an issue with the PlayStation servers or hardware side. Go back to them. And overall, at the end of the day, I think the PlayStation guy was like, how about do this? Since I told him, I kept going back and forth. He was like, basically create a new user for your on your system and log your account in that and go try to go get it again. And it actually worked and it popped and I got the platinum and I was pretty happy. But I didn't run into other bug/glitch trophies. But there's only been 3 times where I didn't get the trophies because it wasn't no fix for them. And that was like I said, Battlefield 4 for the PS3, Most Wanted for the PS Vita, and Super Hot VR for the PS4. Those are the only 3 games that glitched out on me where there's nothing I can do to get them to pop. Hopefully one day I could go back and try to figure out what to do for them. But right now, I'm going to chop it up as my having bad luck. I got bad luck on that. Alright, so another thing we're going to talk about is the writer strike. Now, me personally, with the writer strike, I support them because I know how hard it is to be a writer. I'm a writer myself, but I'm not nowhere near as successful as anybody who's writing for Hollywood. And somewhere deep down, I kind of do want to write in Hollywood, but not if it's going to be like that. Not if you're going to have to still work multiple jobs. You're going to be getting treated unfair. You're not going to have any type of health benefits or medical or dental insurance and stuff like that. And I know what a lot of people saying out there. Just get another job, find somewhere else to work. Or another, speaking point is, well, the stuff that they've been putting out is trash anyway. So screw them. I'm going to tell you this right now. Even though the writers are the foundation for any story, they don't have the last word on what goes out there. That's the studio execs. The studio execs who give the confirmation on what to do. They're the last people. So if you're mad at anybody or anything in the movie, or you're happy about anything in a movie or a TV show, yes, the foundation of that story or that show or that movie are the writers. But at the end of the day, in the end goal, it always fall back on the executive who's get to go on those projects. So if there's a successful movie or a successful TV show, yes, the writers contributed to it, but at the end of the day, the executives who gave the go ahead to do it are the last people who make sure that project gets out or it doesn't get out. These writers are getting told what to do for the most part. Now look, I understand if you feel like there has been terrible stories put out constant left and right, terrible movies put out left and right. But me personally, I'm not like that. Like, there's a lot of good shows I've seen over the past years where I enjoy. There's a lot of good movies I've seen within the past years I enjoy. If you honestly believe, or you honestly tell yourself anything in the last 15 years from like 2010 on up to now, you haven't liked anything, okay, I can understand you. I can understand you like, fuck the writers. I don't care about their stuff. But there's even one thing that you like movie wise or TV show wise, and it came from the Writer Guilds of America. You should ask for better stuff for them. You should support them. You should understand where they're coming from, because majority of these people are not millionaires. These are not rich people. These are not people who are snobby for the most part. These are working class, everyday people who just want proper benefits, who just want proper treatment. Like, I hope you would for yourself and, for your family, if they're in industries and fields and they're getting treated like trash and whatever, or disposable items. Me personally, like, I kind of connect to this because, like I said, I do want to be a writer professionally for my own TV show I got in the works. But if I do that, now I'm thinking maybe I shouldn't even go to Hollywood. Maybe I shouldn't even be in the Writers Guilds or anything like that. Maybe I should just, keep working for myself and just put my own stories out there and never, don't try to go to a big studio to work with them. Because if the writers have been getting treated like this for a while now, they're gonna slightly still gonna get treated like shit. Hopefully that's not the case. Like, hopefully this writer strike comes down and they win it for what they want to win from it, from the writer side, not from the studio executive side. And like some of the things that the writers want is they want proper benefits, they want residual pay, and they want a safeguard from AI, basically replacing them. I don't think they got an issue with AI helping them, but they got an issue with AI replacing them, and like the studios feeding their stories to train AI. In theory, like, even in theory, if AI is here to help out, I'm okay with it. But if AI is here to replace, I'm not okay with it. And let's be honest, any studio executive out there, or just any CEO out there, their main thing is to maximize profits and negate liabilities. That's the main goal, to maximize profits. So eventually, if there is a way for AI to produce a fucking TV show or a movie without a human writer right there, who do you think they're gonna go with, the AI or the human? So I understand where they're coming from. I think they're gonna get their way with the AI, and I think they're gonna get their way with their benefits. but I don't really see them getting their way with the residual pay. Like I don't with the residual pay thing, I don't really see it coming because apparently all of these streaming platforms operate in a loss. They operate at a loss. There's only one that doesn't operate at a loss, and that's Netflix. But Netflix just now started making profit from their streaming service. They have literally been in the red for the most part ever since like they started doing this properly. Like for the last decade or so, they've been in the red with their streaming stuff. So but then again, the studio executives over these platforms are still getting paid multi-millions. If there's people like these people are making your product, they're the foundation of your product, right? You would think you would want to treat them better and give them better, spaces, better, better pay, better benefits, better protection for their jobs in the future. And I know like every story is not good, every movie is not good, but creating better situations most likely will lead to better results. Then again, there's also a quote out there where it says, basically, easy times create weak men or whatever. So maybe I don't know. If these writers has been put in horrible situations, this is stuff they've been putting out, maybe you need to switch it and make them in better situations so they can put out better product. I don't know. But right now, in my opinion, all these executives are getting paid multi-millions. If it's been proven that all they got to do is take a fraction of their pay cut and pass it on down to the people, to the writers, then do that. Also, another thing is like I've been seeing these actors getting paid tons of millions. Tell them to take a pay cut for their writers. Like honestly, tell them to take a pay cut. Tell them to take a pay cut for the studio, the people who does the lights, who does the background setting, who does the special effects or whatever, the animators or whatever. Like I be seeing like the money that goes into these projects are not dispersed properly, and they need to fix that. They literally need to fix that. For the movies and for the TV shows all together, they need to fix that. But overall, I'm staying with the writers. I hope the writers get what they want. Me personally, I do see them ending the strike soon, but I don't see them ending the strike with everything they want. I do believe they're gonna get some type of better benefits, and I do believe they're gonna get some type of AI safeguard. But I don't think their residual pay would be there for them. I just don't see that residual pay coming. I do think they're gonna get paid better, but residual pay, I don't see them budging on that. I think the studio is gonna hold on that, unfortunately. But hopefully they do get it. But I don't know. Like I said, like remember one thing: 90% of people that's in Hollywood are just worker class and people. They are not extreme millionaires or billionaires or whatever, or very popular. Like there's a lot of people there who you don't see, who you take for granted, and they're just like us. If you're a working class individual, they're just like us. So hopefully you know, show them support. Hopefully you understand what they're going through, and yeah. All right. So the last topic on the docket is what games do I have left to play this year? Now, there's only been, for the most part, every game that I wanted to play this year, I now already picked up and played day one. There's only been one game that I missed, which was SpongeBob game that came out in the end of January. I can't even think of the name, but it's a pretty interesting game. It looks pretty dope. I already played the first game that they remastered, Battle for Bikini Bottom or Rehydrated or something like that. I already played that one from THQ Nordic or from Embracer Group. I want to play the second one they just remastered. It came out the end of January. I'm kind of going blank on the name right now, but I'm going to put it on the screen. That's the only game I haven't picked up yet because I thought they might put it on PS Plus, and I seen it on sale for $20 already. But it's going to get picked up by the end of this year. I'm going to play that. But there's two other games that I'm going to play that haven't came out yet, and the next one is Texas Chainsaw Massacre game, which is coming out next month in August the 16th, if I'm not mistaken. I can't wait to play that game because I'm a huge fan of the Texas Chainsaw movies, man. I've pretty much seen 95% of the movies. I have rewatched the movies multiple times. There's only like one or two I haven't seen. Like I seen the new Netflix one. I seen the one with like Trey Songz was in it, I believe. I seen the original ones. I think the ones it was one or two that was in the 80s or the 90s I haven't seen. I'm gonna put them on the screen if I can find them. But yeah, I basically seen all of them. I was binging all of them on Tubi one night, one couple of days, and I enjoyed them. I enjoyed all of them, and of course I seen the newer ones as well. But yeah, the Texas Chainsaw game, I can't wait to play it because I'm a huge fan of the Dead by Daylight game. I'm a huge fan of the Friday the 13th game, and I understand as a fan, I do understand that this won't replace Dead by Daylight. I'm not saying it's gonna replace Dead by Daylight, but what I am saying is I think this is a dope concept. I really do think this is a dope concept. I've seen some footage of the game. It's pretty dope. I'm liking it. I'm enjoying it, and I just overall I can't wait to play it. I know I'm gonna play it for like no more than like 3 months, and probably put it down and play it every once in a while, because like I said, it's nothing they in this one specific universe. There's nothing they can really keep adding on to the game and make it like a live service game like Dead by Daylight is. And it's gonna have the same problem that the Friday the 13th game had, which was after you play it, it's gonna get boring. I already know that, but I'm still can't wait to play it, and I'm not sure I'm gonna pick it up physical or digital, because right now it's on sale for a PS Plus discount. But I just seen there is a physical coming out for retail stores. I will pick up the physical if there's some type of offline mode on the disc. If there's no offline mode at all, then I don't see the point of picking up the physical. So I just gotta, if once I clarify if there's any offline mode in the game, I will be picking up the physical. But if it's not, I'll just go ahead and download the game digitally, because if I'm not mistaken, like the Evil Dead game met the same fate as the Friday the 13th game. It was pretty cool when it came out. People played it for a couple months, and it was over with. But after like a couple of months it came out, it's like, it's cool and all, but this is not something that can hold everybody's attention like this unless you just generally enjoy the game. And Evil Dead, it's boxing that one universe. It's boxing that one universe. So I'm gonna have fun with it. I'm gonna have fun with the Texas Chainsaw game, and I can't wait to play it. And that's one of the games that I'm anticipating to play that's left for the end of this year. And the next game is Spider-Man 2. Now I know you hear me mentioning the collector's edition. I've seen some new gameplay footage of Spider-Man 2. Looks dope as hell. Looks pretty dope. Can't wait to play it. I'm gonna play the shit out of it day one. I'm gonna play the shit out of it day one. That's all I can say about that. And hopefully I enjoy it. And hopefully it's just overall a solid game. Now I know what y'all are saying. There's other games that's coming out. I feel you. Like there's Alan Wake 2 remastered. There's Alan Wake 2 coming out. There's the new COD games coming out. There's I don't know, a bunch of other stuff coming out. I could care less about. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I could care less about those other games coming out. If I do want to play them, I'll pick them up later on, sometime in next year or so. But the only two games that I'm gonna be picking up day one that I really want to play is the Texas Chainsaw game and the Spider-Man 2 game. And the only game, like I said, that I haven't played this year that I really want to play was that SpongeBob game that came out in January. I'm going to be picking that up pretty soon as well. So basically I only got 3 games that came out this year that I haven't played that I want to play, and those are the only 3. So that's about it. All right, so that's the end of the podcast of the Real Man, Real Gamer podcast, episode 3, hosted by the one and only Dell the Gamer. Join me next week for another podcast. I get these podcasts coming out every week for the most part. It might take 2 weeks for one to come out because I'm very busy. But yeah, thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for listening. Have a good one.